It's become a somewhat regular occurrence that the president takes a tumble in public.
President Biden's fall.
Well, Joe Biden falling down the stairs has grabbed headlines.
Do Americans also think the same?
I see a nation, and that nation is India. And I see the nation of the US. And when these two nations shall begin visiting each other, the Spirit of God says, so shall my word go forth as a sword, and I shall cause one man to collapse, and he shall fall down. But you shall know that I have reserved a remnant on the face of this earth, with whom I shall work wonders, with whom the ends of the earth they shall dominate, says the Spirit of the living God. And I shall cause all evil to scatter, and I shall tear it in pieces, says the Spirit of the living God.
Almost 2 months later, true to the word of the prophecy, leading media outlets reported on the U.S. Defense Secretary flying to India to visit the Indian Prime Minister in an effort to intensify the partnership between the two countries.
Good evening and welcome. Let's start with the top story that we're tracking for you. Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin is currently in India for a 3-day visit, a bid by the Biden administration to set up a bilateral engagement, stepping this up between the two countries. Pentagon Chief met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Indian Prime Minister outlined his vision for the strategic partnership between the two countries and also emphasized on the important role of bilateral defense cooperation between India and the United States.
As the prophet had accurately foreseen, at the time the U.S. Defense Secretary was visiting India, global news media was dominated by the top story of the fall of the United States president.
And I shall cause one man to collapse, and he shall fall down.
Well, President Biden decided to race up the stairs to his airplane, and this happened. Doubtless there's someone at CNN right now trying to figure out how to tell us that Joe Biden didn't actually fall. The White House is already trying that. They said it was the wind's fault.
I've also spoken by the prophets, and I've multiplied visions. I have given symbols. Now, if you want to understand this, the prophetic, there's a lot of symbolisms. Do you remember a time when I prophesied about the falling of Biden, the president? There was a lot of symbolism in that prophetic revelation. Now, I prophesied Biden, the president, would fall. Do you remember the circumstances I had given during that? I think it was something to do with India. And then a couple of weeks later, under the same circumstances given by the prophetic word, boom, the guy falls down. You remember that? Now, his tenure as president, one of the main characteristics that can define his tenure is falling. You can't say that about Barack Obama, Trump, Reagan. It's only the guy, after the prophetic word goes forth, he's falling everywhere. Now, there are people who see that, and yes, they're excited, and rightly so, about the fulfillment of it, but then they don't understand the pattern, the symbolism that it comes along with. And one of the things has to do with the prophecy that I gave back in 2013 about his presidency, the fall of America. Another one, we are going to see it. But let me just leave it there.
In a stark contrast to previous presidents of the United States of America, President Biden's repeated falls and tripping remained a prominent feature of his presidency and continued to top headlines around the world, true to the prophetic word. This is the first time in the history of American presidency that falling and stumbling were the major feature characterizing the American presidency and was a constant top story in the global media.
You've heard a lot about President Biden's fall the other day, but don't miss what's happening here. It's not just the fall, the media operation and the implications for the republic. That's what concerns me. Now, look, anyone can stumble and fall, sandbags fall. But when a president does it, usually scrutiny and ridicule follow, which brings us to the current president, who over the last 2 years has done more pratfalls than Jerry Lewis.
In a stunning fulfillment to the prophet's word, the media mention of President Biden's continual falling began more and more to be seen as symbolic of the falling state of the U.S. economy during his presidential term.
You have an op-ed out now. It says, quote, 35 trillion reasons why frail Biden's latest stumble is the ultimate symbol of America's debt-ridden, plunging fortunes.
But I really saw President Biden's fall as a metaphor for what's gone on with the economy, what's gone on with America in the international arena, is we keep stumbling, we keep falling.
These prophetic signs and symbols unfolding before us through the operation of Prophet Elvis Mbonye map out God's directed course for nations and individuals, revealing his perfect will for humanity with every national and international prophetic fulfillment coming to pass with undeniable accuracy. And we who bear witness to this continued display of God's authority revealed through the spirit of prophecy accord double honor to Prophet Elvis Mbonye.